Welcome to the Big BoneYard. Enter at your own risk.
I decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
Hey, I figured out it's Sunday, so that means this is the Big BoneYard, the Big BoneYard Biker Podcast. So listen, thank you all for riding on through to the Big BoneYard tonight. You got surprisingly enough, especially after the week and the day that I've had. You got myself, doggone Big Bone 1%. Thank you for coming through. And also, once again, you got the great, my man Tate from A-Bait. A-Bait Tate, what's up, man?
Same old thing, just a different day.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So yeah, man, it's been busy, right? A lot of stuff going on. We're gonna tell you. And look, and first of all, for those of y'all that we didn't talk to, happy late Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a great holiday.
My favorite, just saying. I love going to other people's houses and getting fed.
Yo, it was definitely cool. I feel like we had a really good. Let me see what this thing. All right, and I feel like we had a really good Thanksgiving. We do this thing every year. Me and Miami do this thing where either the day before or the day of Thanksgiving, and we make it kind of happened by accident a few years ago, where we had all this food, a ton of food. We made too much food, so of course we're not going to throw it away. We're certainly not going to couldn't eat all that food, so we made up plates, and we say, oh, somebody's gonna. And on the way going from one place to the other, we just saw a lot of people that needed some food. Came back, made some more. The next thing you know, that turned into a thing that we do every year. We just now we make up she does most of the cooking, or by most of I mean all of the cooking, and
It's safer that way.
But then man, we hit the streets. So this year we had lots of food, obviously, but also this year we added some backpacks full of supplies. Myself and a T-Man from Tampa Homeless Outreach a couple of weeks ago. This sorority from New York and the University of Tampa made like 180 backpacks where they stuffed them full of stuff. Everything from hoodies, juice boxes, MREs, hygiene items, you name it, just full of these backpacks. And they had 180 of them. So I took some of the ones that were left over, just kind of hit the street. So along with food, giving out the backpacks, it was definitely a very cool kind of thing. So I was really glad to be able to do that. But so there was that. But wait, there's more. Then of course, what? Just Thanksgiving was good, and I hope it was good for everybody. I was just glad to be able to do some of that stuff. So How was yours though? Did you eat till you couldn't see straight?
So actually, um, I had Fat Girl with me, so
Right on.
she chose to spend Thanksgiving with me instead of her mom this year, which was great. I loved it. I had her for 2 weeks this month. It was amazing. Went to a
Oh,
Florida
right on.
State game. It was cool as shit. Um,
Stop cussing.
but yeah, my
No, go
bad.
ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
So Thanksgiving morning we actually woke up super early. She stayed back with my mom until about 9. I was up at like 5. Me and my stepdad rode out to Matt's Barbecue Puerto Rican Kitchen in Orlando. If
Oh,
anybody's
right on.
hungry, family owned, just let them know. ABA Tate
Yeah,
sent
that's
you.
your family
What's
spot.
up? Ask for Miguel. He's a real cool dude. Uh, let him know you know his stepson. Um, but he had a catering. Now, me being a kid that grew up here in Florida, I've always been around airplanes.
Right.
I've been on military bases. I didn't know you go through the same procedure to get on a tarmac that you do to get on a military base. Being able to ride around in a truck on a tarmac was the coolest thing. Like, dude, I've been at 110 miles an hour, flying now 75, just no cares in the world. And I'm telling
Right.
you, the coolest thing I've ever done in my life was drive around on a tarmac.
Brother, look, I understand it. I did something like that in Haiti one time. It was years ago. They were having some issues in Haiti. So I was in the Marine Corps, and we touched down in a airport by Port-au-Prince, and it was weird because the first time I've ever been in an airport that was empty. I mean, there was like 5 people in the whole airport, and it was kind of cool to be. And back then there was no, like, you know how now the airplane pulls up to the thing, and you walk down, you get off the plane, you walk down a hallway, and they call that the gate.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you walked your butt across the tarmac, and you walked up some stairs to get in the plane. That's how it used to be. So I know what you're talking about, but
Like a military base.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I want to go ahead and cover, because we got something really important to talk about tonight. So I want everybody to understand, as per always, the our opinions, what we talk about, what we say, myself and Tate, what we say, this is our opinions only. They do not reflect the opinions, the attitudes, or the positions of our respective organizations in any way. Whilst we love those organizations that we're associated with and members of and all that kind of good stuff, um, this is us speaking for ourselves, not for our organization. So we wanted to get that out of the way straight away. So here's
You
what we're
know,
talking about. Mhm.
hey, I'm glad you got that out of the way straight away, because you know, we do a lot of talking throughout the weeks and stuff, especially working on the show. And sometimes it just helps right before the show to reread the notes we got and like the descriptions and stuff. And as I reread your description and I hear about what you did for Thanksgiving, and I know what the topic is,
Yeah.
but you hit pretty well on gang member, gang member, gang member. Now, what you did for Thanksgiving to me does not register as gang activity.
Yeah. Yeah, well. I guess the gang is gonna go out and again this year. We're doing the toy drive. The COC's toy drive is on December the 7th. Definitely come on out. The information's on my social media. And then, but along with that, there's a doggone there's the toy run, which we're really looking forward to. Oh, what's up, Clint? The toy run is Saturday, December 20th. So we're doing that, and yes, I guess them bad gang members ain't, they're up to no good or something like that. I guess. Yeah. Hey, is that douche? That is douche. Douche.
That's douche.
Douche.
He
He's got
must have
a
he
new
must have got
attitude.
banned again.
Yeah. Hope everyone. Hey, and douche. We had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, and he said he read House Bill 429, waiting for the show to start. That's a disaster and a nightmare. And brother, you are correct. But yeah, but having said that, so the tonight I'll read the description. here's what we were saying. But basically, I said, like many of us, I've had more than just one job and done different things in my life. I was in high school. I was a high school student that joined the Marine Corps, and I was a Marine Corps vet that became a biker, and I was a biker that became a community activist, and I've done too much other stuff to mention and to go all into it and all that. But in all my years, I've never actually been a gang member. Just never got around to it, I guess. But that could change if the state of Florida has its way. So, Florida House Bill 429 seeks to label all motorcycle clubs as gang members. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian club, a charitable organization, or outlaw motorcycle club. Florida wants to label everybody as a gang. So we're going to get into that tonight on tonight's episode of the Big BoneYard, and that's what is the way I've been explaining to people. I've been telling folks that Florida is trying to out Texas, because as a lot of y'all know, in the state of Texas, you can't blink wrong without them going after you if you got a patch on your back. If you are a legal, this is Texas. In the state of Texas, if you have a firearm, if you're legally carrying your firearm because you have a concealed weapons permit, right, and you decide to ride your motorcycle from point A to point B with that motorcycle vest on that has the name of your club on the back of it, the police officer can stop you uh, because you were riding your motorcycle from point A to point B with that patch on your back, not because you were speeding or uh, doing something crazy or nothing. Yeah, just you got a patch on your back. You're probably up to no good. Let me stop you. That is his probable cause, right? So that's the first thing. Oh yeah, exactly. Heather's saying Texas remembers Waco, but that's the start of it. And the part two of it is, as officers usually do, and if you've ever been pulled over in Texas or in Florida, they always do that thing. Hey, you got any guns, knives, or hand grenades? Anything that's going to hurt me? They always say that. And if you are carrying your firearm legally and they ask you, you're supposed to tell them, yes, officer, I'm carrying my firearm. I have a concealed weapons permit and blah, blah, blah. Then the next thing in Texas, the officer is going to go, okay, well, for your safety and mine, I'm going to remove it. Nope, you don't do it. Here, I'll do it for you. He's going to take the weapon. Anything else? Okay. If there's anything else, he's going to take, hey, I'm going to sit this on the hood of my car for your safety and mine. I'm going to sit it here where you can see it. He's going to sit that down. Then he's going to come back to you and say, okay, hey, go on, get on off of that motorcycle. Okay, turn around, put your hands behind your back. Click, click, for your safety and mine. After you're hooked up, guess what? You're under arrest now. Why am I under arrest, officer? You are under arrest for being a gang member in possession of a firearm, which is a felony in the state of Texas. Now, this has been going on for a few years now in Texas, and there have been challenges up the wazoo, right? Legal challenges. Some guys have had to do some time. Some guys have pled out. Some guys have said, hey, lower the sentence to such and such. And some guys get time served after X number of months and so forth. But here's the thing. It's still the law of the land in Texas, and they're trying to give it more teeth in Texas. But as per always, and like most things, if Texas does one push-up, Florida's going to do 5. If Texas says we're going to harass bikers, Ron DeSantis is going to say, hold my beer. Watch this. And that's what's going on right now in Florida. Forget all my joking for a minute, but there's a HB 429. HB 429. But you know what? I'm going to read something to you. Folks all over the United States are watching what's going on with this bill. They're very concerned because Texas has been the one state that patterns a lot of its laws after what's going on in Australia. In Australia, you can't even yourself and two of your buddies get together to ride, and y'all are wearing the same patch. Well, that's an illegal formation. That's gang activity in Australia, especially in Perth. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. That's what they do in Australia. Texas is trying to get just like that. Okay. So anyway, here's something that I want to say he's the president of ABATE of Arizona. But he sent us a little note, and I'm going to skip over a lot of this because this is a multi-page letter that really delves into 429. This fella's a legal scholar. I think he's an attorney. Anyway, what he wrote was, I thought you and A-Beta Florida would like to get ahead of this. Here's some background for you to consider for your article, because I write articles for Income and some other stuff. Anyway, Florida riders need to understand the scope and consequences of HB 429 before the legislature advances it further. The bill expands the criteria for identifying a person as a criminal gang member. So under Florida statute section 874.03, the text does not expressly mention motorcycle clubs, riding associations, veteran riding groups, charity-focused riding groups, or other structured or informal riding communities. The absence of a direct reference does not reduce the legal exposure that riders and motorcycle club members may face if law enforcement agencies apply the revised statutory criteria during traffic stops, arrests, investigations, or intelligence gathering operations. The criteria in the bill create a pathway for classification that depend on attire. I mean, the way you're dressed, association, tattoos, social media activity, and participation in recordings. Riders must understand these elements clearly because the bill uses a two-factor threshold, just two things. That threshold is low enough that many law-abiding individuals could be identified as criminal gang members without any involvement in criminal activity. Let me say that shit in English, or excuse me, let me say that stuff in English. What that means is based on a huge variety of criteria, any police officer could decide that you're a cop, or excuse me, that you are a gang member. And if he says you're a gang member, your butt's a gang member. Why is that important? Because, people call me nasty things all the time. But in Florida, if they call you a gang member, that means something different. That means that anything that they say you're doing or anything that you're accused of doing has a gang enhancement. That changes a misdemeanor, which is a slap on the wrist and maybe a small fine, or maybe carries a small jail time with no minimum mandatory, where you could get a small fine, and now giving you a mandatory jail sentence of 1 to 3 years in prison, just depending on what the charge was. And I could go on and on about that, but let me give you some of the specific things, some of the things that they matter of fact, here I'll delve back into this.
I was
So
saying, I got
statute,
the verbiage pulled up.
say what? Oh, okay. Florida 874. And by the way, as you're watching this, if there's a thing you don't understand, or if you have a question, hey, make your comments. Feel more than welcome to give us a call and ask a question. The call-in number is 310-870-8994, because I definitely want us to talk about this. So if anybody's got any questions, don't be shy. And here's the deal. If they do this in Florida, if they're able to get away with this in Florida, which we're working on it, we don't want it to happen in Florida, but if they do it, they did it in Texas. They're trying to do it in Florida. So if they did it in Texas, they do it in Florida, there's no reason for you to think whatsoever that they won't do it in your state, because that's just the way that these things go. But anyway, Florida statute section 874.03 defines a criminal gang member as a person who meets at least two of the list criteria. Florida legislature, oh, no, I told you that already. Let's see here. Riders should understand that the law does not require a criminal charge or criminal conduct for a person to be classified as a member of a criminal gang. It requires only that two of the listed criteria be present. A qualification can have long-term consequences for employment, housing, security clearances, firearms rights, immigration status. Although these areas extend beyond the motorcycle community, motorcyclists who ride together or display club identifiers face heightened risk under the revised criteria. Another thing is that if you're identified as a gang member, then anybody in your household is now or can now be identified as a gang member as well, because they live with you. So the association, the way that this bill is written, allows a very broad interpretation by law
Oh yeah.
enforcement. to identify who they want as gang members. And it really doesn't matter who. A lot of times it's whatever best benefits their investigation. But let me not stray too much. One of those major issues, we're going to throw out some of these major issues and we'll talk about them. First major issue is attire. Attire that reflects affiliation with a group. HB 429 states that a person may satisfy one criteria if they adopt the style of dress of a criminal gang. The term style of dress is not defined in the statute with specificity. This creates the risk for riders because motorcycle vests, patches, rocker designs, and back patch insignias are consistent identifiers of many riding organizations and motorcycle clubs. Law enforcement agencies sometimes use attire as a proxy for group affiliation, even when individuals have no connection to criminal activities. So riders have experienced instances in different states where patches or vests led to National Gang Center, led to traffic stops, field interviews, or data collection for a gang database. And the Department of Justice National Gang Center Gang Identifier Guidance Report in 2023 explained all of that. The broad phrasing of attire for an HB 429 can be applied to motorcycle club colors without any intent or evidence that the organization is involved in criminal activity. This creates a real possibility that attire alone can satisfy half of the threshold needed for classification. In plain English, if you wear a motorcycle vest and motorcycle boots and a bandana to keep the wind out of your face, according to this, well, that's half the criteria necessary for you to be considered a gang member. It does. Oh, by the way, doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man or a Christian or a Jew, black, white, or plaid. I talked to a brother today who his brother just got out after 2 years, and the identifier, or one of the identifiers that were used to determine his gang credentials, were the fact that he was wearing some sneakers that had two certain colors on them. You know, he was wearing, I'll say he was wearing black and white sneakers, and they said, "Yep, he's one of them." I'm not kidding.
Good luck.
Crazy. As crazy as what I just said. He wore black and white sneakers, and that was enough. Yep, he must be up to something.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, I know our show typically faces the whole motorcycle community thing on it, but rereading this bill while we're going through it, and I've read through it a number of times. By the way, there is a Senate bill that goes with it, Senate Bill 536. For those of y'all in Florida that want to stay up to date on this. One of the things is hand signs and terms used by known criminal gangs. So you mean to tell me, now the statement has always been ignorance is bliss, let kids be kids.
Right.
But let's face it, our kids see things on TV or hear things in the media like music. Let's use a lot of rappers, Pyru. Okay, so now because my son is walking around singing a song that has the term Pyru in it, he can be stopped on the side of the road and arrested for gang activity because he is out loud singing a song that you're allowing to be on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh, so they are legitimately setting people up to just be like everybody in America.
By the way, listen, you jumped ahead a little bit because I was actually going to address the music thing. They've in Georgia, they've very successfully prosecuted. I'm talking very successful prosecutions, as in people are doing prison time because they made a song. They say, "Yep, that's a gang member," and there he is glorifying. Man, if that's the standard that they are using in Georgia, a lot of folks need to move out of Georgia because there's a lot of Southern rappers in Georgia. Anyway, here's another one of these criteria. So one of the second criteria that raises significant concerns is association with individuals identified as criminal gang members. So, if a motorcyclist rides with somebody who has been previously classified, whether correctly or incorrectly, as a criminal gang member, law enforcement could use that association to justify the second criteria. This does not require any proof that the rider is involved in criminal activity. It does not require proof that the classified individual is involved in any criminal activity. It does not require criminal conviction. It requires only an association. So riders often attend charity events, group rides, funerals, toy runs, public fundraisers, and veteran support rides. So participation in these events can include hundreds of riders, many of whom riders do not know personally. HB 429 does not distinguish between close association and incidental association. That means you go to something where a legit bad guy is at. Guess what? Guilt. This is guilt by association. There's no kidding there. The bill does not require that the association occurred during criminal activity. If law enforcement believes that two riders at an event meet the attire criteria, and then use the presence of a known classified person as the second criteria, both of those individuals could fall under the definition. Period. Now, in Florida, they also have a thing called the mob rule. The mob rule means this: is that if you're at an event, a protest specifically, you're at some sort of a protest where people are saying, "Hey, we want minimum wage. We want minimum wage now," and one person in that crowd of 200 or 300 people, whatever it is, if they throw a potato at a police officer. I'm being facetious because that's not something that happens a whole heck of a lot. But let's say somebody is accused of, not that they actually did it. If they're accused of throwing a potato at a police officer, hold on, here's the nasty work in Florida. Every person, all 200 of those people can be charged with that crime. They can be arrested and charged with that crime. It doesn't matter if they didn't throw the potato, didn't know the potato thrower, didn't see a potato, or was nowhere near the potato. Everybody in that group can be charged. And this is a thing that this is Florida. This is the actual law. So let's take that and say it's a biker rally and somebody does anything. Everyone there not only can be charged with the crime, but by this criteria, everyone there can now be classified as a gang member. I'm not making this up. This is what the law is in Florida. Now, the HB 429 is what's coming down the pipe. That's what we're going to be fighting about. We'll be talking about how we're going to do that in just a second. All right. So one more thing. Yeah. And Deuce said, what did you say, Deuce? Deuce said associates with one or more known criminal gang members. That's one of two criteria. Watch out. Prosecutors and cops, you just associated with them. Yeah, that's very true.
Well, and here's my thing. I've always been devil's advocate on laws pertaining to anything. No matter who they are, no matter what the law is, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Mm. And if I can legitimately sit back and go, okay, this is going to cover not only left, right, but down the middle also. By all means, if that's how that law is going to be ran, hands off. This is something that needs to be fought. I don't deny that. But at the same time, you brought up charity runs. A lot of these charity runs, how are they escorted?
Well, it depends. Sometimes they're escorted by police officers, and sometimes not. But I understand what you're saying, though. I mean, I get what you're saying.
So you see where I'm going with this. Every year.
But see, the problem is that it's selective prosecution, as in the cops go after who they want. If they like you, then everything's cool. When they decide they don't like you, or they don't like the subject matter, or they don't like what you're protesting, they don't like the thing that you're going out to support, now they can say, how can we make them a gang, and how can we do that? That's where the problem, therein lies the problem, as they say.
And here's where I think one of the ways we can fight this is, hear me out. It, it's far-fetched, but hear me out. Every year, Atlanta, Florida does what?
Oh yeah, the Freedom Run.
Which is escorted by who?
Right, cops. I mean, I get it. Yeah, but what's your point?
If we're gang members,
Mhm,
and let's say you get pulled over and they say, "Oh, you're a gang member."
mhm.
Oh, well, here's proof I was on 2 different tally runs that was escorted by
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Escambia County
I hear
Sheriff's
what
Department.
you're
That
saying, but
means they are also gang members. So you need to go
no,
arrest them.
well, in theory, and I see what you're saying, and that is kind of far fetched. The problem is, as Wedding Diva just said, that's Nicole. Nicole, why I don't know why Nicole says Wedding Diva because I know who that is. We went to school together and stuff, but we were kind of sort of like. Anyway, Nicole just said, and if I'm not mistaken, aren't there members of law enforcement who ride motorcycles and may belong to motorcycle clubs? We spoke about that. We spoke about that today in the COC. Now, here's where, and Heather just said, how would that affect Leo clubs in Florida? Then this
It
okay,
won't.
but everybody's on the same page. So let me tell you the answer to that. It depends, and I hate giving that answer, but let me be as specific as I can about the depends. If you are in Polk County, Florida, that's Lakeland and all that stuff. There is a sheriff that some folks not even in Florida know about this son of a gun. He is a real cowboy of a sheriff. Like he thinks he's like in the Wild Wild West, but his name is Grady Judd. Grady Judd says if any of his police officers join the Blue Knights or Iron Order or any of those those cop clubs, he's going to kick you off the police force. And if there's a way to charge you with, if you even think about doing something criminal, he's going to charge you with a quickness and he will put you in the jail that you used to put people in. So if you're in Polk County, you can't be a cop in one of those clubs. However, what if a cop who's in one of those clubs goes through Polk County? Well, if this law passes, he's going to get the business in Polk County because Polk County don't like cop clubs. They don't like any clubs in general. And this HB 429 gives them some teeth, but they really don't like cop clubs. So yeah, how's that going to affect cop clubs? It depends on where they are. If it's a place where no matter what the cops do, it's okay. And that's the thing. Let's not pretend like cops don't watch out for cops and cops don't let cops get away with dirt while they'll put somebody else in prison for the same stuff. That's what happens. But other places like Polk County, guess what? In Polk County, you can't do it. And I want to say in Pasco County, Florida, those cops cannot join one of those dirty cop clubs. Can't do it. According to the sheriff, legally, they could do whatever they want. But if the sheriff finds out, their butt is grass. So, I don't know if that's really the answer. I mean, because it's not addressed legally in the bill. It's not addressed in the bill. It doesn't say unless you're a cop. That's up to the law enforcement agency, the respective law enforcement agency as to how it is that they want to pursue or prosecute cops that are in clubs. But let me give you another one of the criteria. The third criteria, which is really the third major issue, is tattoos. So tattoos associated with a group motorcycle culture frequently includes tattoos that identify club membership, military units, riding achievements, or symbolic images. So HB 429 allows tattoos to count as criteria for classification if the tattoo is identified as used by a criminal gang. Now, the text of the bill does not require that the tattoo reference criminal activity. It does not require that the tattoo be exclusive to criminal gangs. Motorcycle insignia or designs frequently appear in tattoo art. This includes club names, mottos, and symbols. Now, these tattoos could be used as evidence even if the organization has no criminal involvement. Tattoos base classification has been widely criticized in gang database litigation because of errors in interpretation, cultural overlap, and inconsistent law enforcement training. And they quote People v. Prunty 355P3D 480. That if you want to follow what the statute or what the precedent was. So riders may face similar misinterpretation if tattoo-related criteria are used broadly. So if you got a tattoo of freaking Daffy Duck and a cop says, yep, that's a gang tattoo, guess what? Daffy Duck becomes a gang tattoo because the hell he said so. Yeah, I mean, and there ain't nothing to say after it. It's based on the interpretation of the officer. If he says that's a gang tattoo, that's what it is. And it's your job. And now, and they say the burden of proof is on the accuser. Not in this case. In this case, the burden of proof, there is none. It's what the officer says. It's based on his interpretation. Jay just said Polk County check. Hold on. Jay said Polk County checking in here. You see the clubs now primarily in the areas of local law enforcement, but they tend to stay out of county jurisdiction. Judd targets bikers in patches, and yes, he does. We absolutely know that. We're talking about Grady Judd in Polk County. Somebody else said, "Oh, by the way, hey, if you're watching this, take 2 seconds, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely go ahead and subscribe. So hit like, subscribe, share, but hit that like button. Do a brother a solid right there. But T1 as you are TW1P3S. I'm curious what that means. But anyway, says the reason they escort you is so they show the public they are watching you, that they're watching you close. So when you ask for escort, of course the cops will oblige. FYI. Okay, there's something to consider there. Deuce says Grady might actually use this against Leo clubs. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that he'll use it against Leo clubs first chance he gets. I've seen a few of his press conferences on YouTube. He really liked touching those 1% of colors they confiscated, and yes, he does. Heather Mo said he touched it so much I thought he might put it on. Hey, I swear I remember that video, and I was thinking the same thing.
Hey, there's been a few of them, and I'm like, oh God, what's he doing next?
Yeah, but he's doing it. He's trying to be antagonistic. He's trying to be disrespectful because he knows all of the stuff he's doing is very disrespectful. So he's doing it on purpose.
And about tattoos, here's the thing. Rewind to my early 20s. I get pulled over driving with no license. They send me to jail. I'm sitting in a gang pod. I have no idea why I'm there. I've never been gang affiliated. I ain't know nobody in the gang.
Right.
I'm just a Florida boy. I'm sitting there and a bunch of guys around me, they're like, why are you here? Bro, I don't know. Well, let's see. They start going through, oh, you got a 5-point star. Well, yeah, I thought it looked cool, but the colors in it mean something different. Oh, you got a 5-point crown. Yeah, my wife had the matching one at the time. Oh, well, that means that. Da, 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 da. Oh, you got a spider web with a black widow with a diamond knot colored in. That means da 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 da. I'm like, I just got this shit because it looked good.
Yeah, okay.
So people are going to be classified as gang members and not even know it just because they went to a tattoo shop. And most of my tattoos are flash. They're not personal images. So I'm sitting here flipping through a book and I was like, oh, I like that piece of art. Let me put it on me. So now we're going to have people sitting in jail classified as gang members because they like art. Come on now. This whole bill's bullshit.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it is. It is. And there's no doubt about that. I'll tell you, let me give you this next thing. This is the fourth area, and this is a big one. The fourth area of concern is the use of social media content. Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah, HB 429 states that using gang-related language on social media can serve as criteria. So the statute does not define the term gang-related language. Social media for motorcyclists often includes photographs of group rides, discussions of motorcycle culture, references to brotherhood or sisterhood within the community, and commentary on legislative actions that affect riders. Law enforcement agencies may treat certain club related language as indicative of gang behavior, even if the language relates to legal, cultural, or social elements of club life. So riders who post photos with club patches, group rides, or gatherings could find their online activities scrutinized under the bill. Now, uh, this raises substantial civil liberties concerns related to speech protected by the First Amendment, and he quotes several precedents like Dawson v. Delaware 503 U.S. 159. But so, long story short, on that, freaking Facebook, yeah. So, how many of us have gone on a good ride? I know Heather Moe does it all the time. Heather had something on there this morning, I want to say, or this morning or last night. But the point is, Heather, apparently you're a gang member now. I don't know if you knew that. I forgot to tell you. But yeah, hold on. Clinton Lund says there are conspiracy theories from left and right, but we have real totalitarian laws being legislated. Most common folks have no political home. Big Bone, you're the tip of the spear for fighting this. Man, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We had a great COC meeting about this today. And at the end of this, we're going to share with you what we came up with. Abate and the COC are getting ready to get in the fight for real, for real. So it's going to be a big one too. Jay said the Leo clubs are the worst. I agree. He said the Leo clubs are the worst. They do crime hiding behind the badge, and when challenged by biker protocol, they also hide behind the badge. I've seen it with my own two eyes. They absolutely do it, and those guys, and y'all know I don't talk trash about a whole lot of anybody, but I'm like, when I see that stuff, I'm like, you guys are a joke, and that's why a lot of times, and I'm sure somebody's going to get mad, somebody's going to get the hating on me for saying this, but it's true. When you see the cop clubs, you see them at you don't see them at anybody's clubhouse. You see them at the burger joint, like Quaker Steak and OCC and stuff like that. You'll see them there. You'll see them in Daytona, and they'll show up. They're walking in packs of 50 at a time, huddled together. They don't stray off neither. They stay packed up together. And you only see them at places where there's large police, where the police presence is prevalent. So even then, even when they're playing tough guy biker, they're because guess what? They don't got no badge. So they'll go do dirt and then whip out a badge. As long as they got the badge, it's okay. So I can't do that. Not that I'm doing any dirt, but if I did, I don't have a badge to pull out. It's like the way this thing works is grown men and grown women on the set, you do what you do, and you're ready to deal with the consequences of that. They don't have that. And that's not a jealousy thing. Ain't y'all supposed to be protecting and serving instead of going out here, robbing, killing, stealing? Y'all ain't supposed to be doing that, but that's what they're doing. And then got the nerve to point the finger and try to make it like bikers are wrong, or like those club members are bad, when those are the guys that's doing the dirt. They're just getting away with it. But anyway, Deuce said, he said, okay, fine. He goes, Abate Tate's mom and Heather Moe, 4563 are both gang. Oh yeah, that's true. Tate, your mom's a gang member. Heather, you're a gang member. Just said so. So there, what are you going to do?
Well,
and,
hey, speaking of that, the Deuce just said,
mm-hmm.
So the second criteria is
stop talking to Heather, man. She's a gang member.
Hey, I'm sorry. It's them deviled eggs she made. Number 2 is identified as a criminal gang member by a documented, reliable informant, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you scroll down to number 7, is identified as a criminal gang member by an informant of previously untested reliability, and such identified as corroborated by independent information. Hey. So 1 second you're saying it's a reliable informant, and the other one you're saying, well, nobody's tested their reliability. So now anybody can say whatever the hell they want.
I'll tell you, listen, there's one section of this thing that blows my mind. A family member or close associate, someone that lives in your home, should they decide to identify you as a gang member, then you're a gang member. So let me tell you in plain English what that means and what that's for. Um, you and your girlfriend get in an argument and you say she's a gang member. Guess what? She's a gang member now. And guess what? You are too, because you snitched on her, or vice versa. You know, your old lady gets mad at you. You stayed at the clubhouse too late, right? And guess what? She's like, well, you just stay at the clubhouse. Don't come home. And you guys get into it. The cops show up and she goes, he's a gang member. Whatever little thing was going on now got blown out of proportion exponentially, because now it's not a husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend having an argument. It now becomes you're a gang member that threatened and assault, because there's a gang enhancement in Florida. It's now you raised your voice as a gang member. That's intimidation. That's a crime. Yeah. So so don't be having no domestic nothing. I forget which number that was, but here's what was that? So we talked about social media. Oh, the fifth issue is participation in recordings that describe or promote criminal gang activity, even if the activity did not take place. The statute allows a recording to serve as criteria, regardless of the accuracy of the content. This means that writers in a music video, we talked about this, documentary, online satire, or fictional creative project may face scrutiny. Writers who appear in any edited material that discusses or depicts criminal conduct could be placed at risk, even if the scene was not real or the writer was not involved. I was in a movie called Riding Dirty.
Yep.
I was in a movie called Riding Dirty, and there was some shoot 'em up scenes and all kinds of crazy stuff in that movie.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Based on this, based on HB 429, that checks one of the boxes. This is a movie. It's not a real thing. It's a movie.
Based on HB 429, ain't neither one of us seeing Christmas.
Yeah. But wait, there's more. So we're almost done with all them, because there's only a few more. But the sixth, I'll run through these. The sixth issue concerns the lowered evidentiary threshold. Prior versions of Florida's gang statute require more than 2 criteria or relied on more stringent combinations of indicators. HB 429 reduces the trigger threshold to 2. The cumulative effect of this change interacts with the 5 areas noted above. A writer who wears a vest and appears in a social media post with another writer could satisfy 2 criteria. A writer with a tattoo and a club vest satisfies 2 criteria. A writer who appears in an online video and rides with an identified person could satisfy 2 criteria. The low threshold presents disproportionate risk for individuals who participate in motorcycle club culture. And you see where I'm going with that. The 7th is the potential for expanded law enforcement discretion. In plain speaking, if the cop says it, that's what it is. It's everything's up to his discretion now. The 8th being the 8th issue is the legislative intent. HB 429 references recruitment and organization in jails and prisons, while this bill aims to target organized criminal groups that recruit inside correctional institutions. The operational language of the bill extends to all individuals who meet 2 criteria, whether you're in jail, not in jail, whichever, it don't matter. Okay. And what was it? Number 9, potential constitutional challenges related to use of attire, tattoos, and association as evidence for criminal gang membership implicates First Amendment protections. Motorcycle club patches are expressive symbols. Tattoos are expressive symbols. Association with a group is protected under the rights to expressive association. The precedent is NAACP versus Alabama, but writers should not assume that courts will strike the statute automatically, because constitutional challenges take years and require individuals to face charges or classification first. So writers should be proactive in legislation advocacy rather than relying on litigation after harm occurs. So in plain English, you might be one of those, hey, arrest me, I don't care, right? Because, we all know that guy who's like, they better not arrest me. I'm going to sue the pants off them, lock me up, and then they do. And in order for you to win your case, which isn't going to be heard for 5 freaking years, like that's a thing. So yes, you might be right all over the place, and you'll be right in jail while you're waiting to fight the thing. Hey, what's that? Eastside Chemo, what's up, Chemo? Chemo's in the house. Heather just said, yeah, Fran is going to have a
A
ball if this goes
freaking
through. That is a
man.
fact. Yeah. And Jay was saying, so wearing those common Dilligaf, FTW, FAFO patches and tabs now will get gang attention when it's to their advantage. Absolutely. That's a perfect example. Jay, you are 100%. That's exactly what it is. And then what's the so Heather, he was saying to Heather Mo, I think the book is going to be called How Fran Became a Multimillionaire. Yo,
Billionaire.
real talk.
Billionaire.
Yeah.
How Fran Hash bought the state of Florida.
Right. If this goes through, yeah. But so speaking of which, Fran is great. If anybody falls down and goes boom on their motorcycle, make sure you call Fran, because Fran is the, I started to say Fran is the man to make a rhyme, but no, Fran is she's a legitimate friend to the biker community. So if you've got any issues with personal injury, in whether it's in your car, your motorcycle, you're in a store, if you need legal representation, call her first. Like, do that, because she makes a difference and she gives a damn. The little thing I used to say back in the day just applies to her so much. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of smart lawyers out there, but nobody really cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And Fran, she gives a damn. So anyway, let me get back, let me get off my damn soapbox about Fran. I love you, girl, if you're listening. Anyway, another issue is the 10th issue is the public safety narrative. Proponents of HB 429 will frame the bill as a measure to address organized crime. But riders must respond with facts. There's no evidence that motorcycle clubs as a whole engage in criminal activity in Florida. Charity events, veteran support rides, crisis response team, and accident awareness programs are central elements of motorcycle culture in the state of Florida. So riders are parents, veterans, first responders, tradesmen, business owners, retirees, and community volunteers. So any legislative proposal that conflates club culture with criminality should be challenged with data. So this is basically what our challenge is, to do just that. Like, we have to paint our own picture. We have to give our own narrative, because HB 429, the goal of that is to make us the boogeyman, right? The 11th issue concerns the chilling effect on charitable and civic participation. So riders often organize charity rides to support children with medical needs, veteran programs, first responder families, cancer patients, foster youth, disaster relief. So if riders fear that photographs, recordings, or attire from these events could be misconstrued under HB 429, participation is going to decline. Charitable organizations who rely on these bikers getting together and doing fundraising and logistical support it's gonna kill it. HB 429 will reduce volunteer engagement, and the legislators need to know that, and that's the thing that we're going to do. The 13th, let me see. The 12th is relationship between motorcycle culture and Florida tourism. If folks think that there's a bunch of gangs running wild in Florida, they ain't coming here. People that like to come here to do biker stuff, like Daytona and stuff like that, guess what? They don't want to come to Florida if they think they come to Florida and they're going to be labeled as a gang member and all that kind of stuff. They're not coming. There's plenty of other places that folks could go to. So is it going to cost Florida money? Yeah. If this goes through, kiss Daytona goodbye. Nobody's wanting to come.
Well, not just Daytona, and not to jump on a bandwagon. Daytona, St. Pete, Leesburg, Thunder Beach. We have, everybody thinks Daytona, but those of us that are in this lifestyle, that we know that the tour in the state of Florida hits multiple points. There's multiple rallies. Two broke for Sturgis. There's rallies all year long in the state of Florida.
Yes, Gibtown Bike Fest, the Coatee River Bike Fest, Madeira or what's that? John's Pass has a bike fest. There's a ton of them.
Not only
Miami
that,
does a thing.
let, let's
Uh,
not
Up in
forget
the Panhandle, Panama City, Thunder Beach,
Beach.
Thunder Beach, all of these things. So this is going to cost Florida money, which I don't even care about. But the legislators and lawmakers should care about that. Let me throw out this other one. 14 concerns the long-term data consequences of classification. Once a person is classified in a criminal gang database, that entry may influence background checks, traffic stops, employment screening, firearm purchase, background checks, immigration applications, and military re-enlistment determinations. So while HB 429 does not amend these downstream processes directly, it affects them by expanding the number of individuals who may be classified. So riders must understand the classification is not temporary. Riders who are mistakenly classified may face barriers for years and years after proving that they're innocent.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to
Because we
wait
get to,
years just to go to court
yeah,
to get found innocent, and then do another 6 years trying to get your name cleared. It's ridiculous,
yeah,
dude.
and by the way, there's no recompense, as in like according to HB 429, you can't sue and say, hey, you put me on this database, you messed up my life, now you owe me for what you did. No, there's no legal remedy financially for the damages that happen. And there would be damages if this happens. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. 15th, and this is the last one I'm going to do. The 15th issue is community reputation. Motorcycle clubs dedicate significant effort to public outreach to counter negative stereotypes. HB 429 risks reinforcing misconceptions by framing attire, association, and symbols as evidence of criminal gang membership. So riders should highlight the civic contribution of motorcycle clubs in Florida, including blood drives, highway cleanup programs, veteran outreach, child advocacy support, and accident response training. Riders should make legislators aware that club participation in these civic programs may be deterred if members believe their attire or tattoos could be used against them. So this is all stuff that we're going to bring up to our lawmakers in just a little bit. Actually, on the week of February the 9th. So ABATE, we're doing this thing. Let me see. Let me see if I can.
Nah, it's kind of shady. So
Right.
February 14th. It's a Sunday.
No, wait, no, not the 14th. It's
No, 15th.
Monday, February the 9th is the Freedom Ride.
You're right. I got it wrong on my calendar.
Yeah,
So
but
February 9th is the Freedom Ride. And then
right. So
we're doing the stay over Tuesday.
right. So let me go back. So ABATE is doing a state meeting on Sunday, which is February the 8th. That's an ABATE thing. And reach out to us and we'll find out if we're going to invite some other folks to that and if we're going to open it up, because this is a very big, important thing. Monday, February the 9th is where we're going to, it's already scheduled. We've got one of the lawmakers is sponsoring us to come up. We've already got that done where we're going to ride up on motorcycles. We're going to park the bikes right in the courtyard, and we're going to walk the halls of the state capitol, and we're going to go and talk to a number of these lawmakers. We're going to talk to them face to face about HB 429 and some other things, lane splitting and all like that. All of that stuff took a backseat, to be honest with you. The thing I care the most about is everything we've been talking about tonight. So we're going to do that on February the 9th, and we're going to do it again on February the 10th. Now, February the 10th, we're not going to have 400 motorcycles with us, but there's certain of us that are going to be up there to talk to a number of these lawmakers. Here's a fun fact: the guy that sponsored the motorcycle safety and awareness bill that passed for ABATE and two other groups year before last is a guy by the name of Jay Collins, and he's now the lieutenant governor of the state of Florida. Who knew? So hopefully he keeps that same energy, and he ain't too big for his britches now, and he's still going to talk to his biker buddies. So yeah, but that's what we're going to be doing. BACA would be greatly affected. They absolutely would. BACA Heather was saying Baca would be greatly affected. They would. Baca is Bikers Against Child Abuse, and they have chapters all over North America. Excellent group, and they participated in a big way in the big meeting that we had today on this subject. And actually, the guys in Baca were very much concerned about this because they've got some very specific. Their mission is contingent upon them being able to move throughout the community because they're helping kids, and if those guys that are helping, men and women that are helping these kids are now labeled as gang members and they can't do what they do, who does that really hurt? It hurts the kids.
Let me throw this out there to anybody that may catch wind of this podcast and goes,
hit the like button.
Well, that too, and goes, dude, I have no interest in motorcycles. This does not affect me. You may be right, but those of us that have been in low-income families at any point in time, those of us that have been on those angel trees, those of us that have received items from Toys for Tots, those of us that have received anything from organizations like LCUMA in Lake County that go out and do toy runs for Christmas to make sure these low-income families have Christmas for their children.
That's what we
These
do.
things are going to fall through if this bill gets passed. We're not going to be able to do these things. Why? You don't want to be registered as a gang member. Neither do I. Neither does Big Bone 1%er. But at the same time, yes, we want to help our community, but we're not going to
risk our families.
For better or worse,
Yeah.
risk our families to do so. Do we risk our lives when we go out and do it? Oh, yes, all the time. Every time we throw our leg over a saddle, we risk our lives. Let's face it, people don't pay attention to motorcyclists. We know that. That's a risk we take, whether we're going to the gas station or whether we're going to a toy run. But we're risking our families' lives if this bill passes, because our families can now be, oh, my mom don't know nothing about what I do on the outside, but now my mom's a gang member because I went to Christmas dinner. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We got a thing, and I'm going to see if I can find it. But we've got a petition that's already started. And let me see if I can find this bad boy. Come on now. Okay, here it is. I think this is it. I believe this is it. Okay, hold on. All right, so we've got a petition about HB 429, and I'm going to see if I can put it in the comment section here, and I'm going to give it a shot. All right, let me see here. Okay, all right, so I'm going to post this thing in just a second, and it's a online petition that you can sign, and this is going to go to our lawmakers to let them know that we don't want HB 429 to become the law in Florida. And y'all give me a second. I'm going to get it in there. But along with that, as we mentioned, so the Freedom Ride, we got that coming up. And y'all stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Stay involved. Give a damn. And take this show. If you don't ordinarily do it this time. This show, share it on your social media, because apparently the cops are watching. But seriously, share this show on your social media and everywhere else you can. Let folks know that this thing is going on, and it's going on right now. The legislative session is getting ready to start, and so we got a big fight on our hands. And the COC, ABATE, Doggone, and several other organizations are absolutely going to be getting in this fight. So, and I say fight, it sounds like I'm using the word fight. Yeah, because it's going to be just that. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a big one, and we need everybody's help. So There it is. It's coming. It's popping up right there. That's the link to the what do you call it, to the online petition. So y'all jump in there, do that online petition. We need your help. And other than that, I know we've talked about this a lot, and we don't normally get all legal, but hey, y'all, this is a big one. So I'm not going to babble y'all's head off or nothing like that. Clinton Lund said, "Can't this bill be used to label any group?" Yes, it absolutely can. It can absolutely be used to label any group, and that's the concern. Like, we know in Florida that they're targeting bikers. They've been doing that for quite a little bit since we got the new the Attorney General of Florida got a job working with the Trump administration. Her name is Pam Bondi. The guy that replaced her is 20 times worse. He has a hard on for bikers. She kind of did. He really does. So he's trying to out Pam, if that makes any sense. It's like Florida trying to out Texas. So yeah. So we got some problems. Crazy Chuck, Semper Fi, Chuck, Semper Fi. But yeah. So, but that's the link. Y'all check that link. Visit that link. Everybody hit the like button. If you want to help out the show, because we're going to be going on the road here in a little bit. We don't do this a lot, but if anybody wants to donate toward the Big BoneYard and us doing what we got to do, because like I said, we're going to be on the road for a minute, but that's the link, or the Cash App is $ Bone OFFO. If y'all want to throw us a couple of bucks, give us some gas money, because we getting ready to go back and forth to Tallahassee a lot. But listen, this is one of those times where I got to tell you, but we feel blessed to have this platform to be able to let folks know what's going on, but also to ask for your help. We need your help in fighting this legislation. So do the petition, share the information. I'll get the links. I'm going to have it on my social media, the links for HB 429, so you can kind of delve in there and read this stuff for yourself. Tate's going to have it up. I'm going to have it up. But hey, I love y'all. We're going to wrap it up. It's Sunday night, but I appreciate y'all being here with us tonight and riding through like that. Tate, what you got to say to the nice folks?
Anybody is looking forward to helping us with this fight that can make it down in February, wants more information on anything else they can do to help, hit me up on Facebook, Abate Tate. That goes to my personal cell phone, my business cell phone. You can get a hold of me 24/7, and I'll tell you what you can do to help. If you're in the local area, if you're in Alabama or Georgia, maybe you're not a member of ABATE, but you know your local ABATEs in those areas, get them to contact me. I would be more than happy to have them come ride with us and fight HB 429 because if it passes in Florida, Alabama and Georgia are next.
Yep. And look, February the 9th, we're doing it. Tate's going to have all his information online. You can get his shoe size. You can get his blood type, the last four of his social, all of that. No, I'm just playing. Look, hey, y'all. And Mira, Mero, thank you for riding through. I'm glad. And listen, if you missed this, because we're getting ready to wrap up, but you can go back and watch this show from the beginning. Please do. Like I said before, hit the like button, like, subscribe, share. Definitely this show more so than anything else. Share this show. Just crazy cool that y'all came to ride with us tonight. Stop laughing at me, Heather. But anyway, listen, thank y'all for joining us tonight here at the Big BoneYard. And like I said, we got a big job to do, and it includes you guys too. So look, y'all get ready to get plugged in. We're going to be talking back 7 days, and we're going to do a little update. So all of y'all come back in 7 days so we can talk about this and some other stuff we got going on. Right? Hey, Mira. All right. I'm saying Mira just because it's a cool last name. Hey, love and respect, y'all. Thank y'all for riding through tonight with the Big BoneYard.
Welcome to the Big BoneYard. Enter at your own risk.
I decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.